My London walk is taking me from St Paul's to Soho, from saint to sinner, on foot. A mile north of the great cathedral, overlooked by the new towers of glass and steel, is an ancient network of tiny streets. This area here, hidden in the middle of the city, is one of the most significant spots in all of London town. It was mentioned in Dickens' Great Expectations, the familiar name. This was a warren of ancient houses, though little of it now remains. Over the years, redevelopment has made huge changes. On a busy side street, tucked away behind a small Tudor facade, hides an ancient church that caused a very modern controversy. This is St Bartholomew's the Great, an incredible Norman priory dating from 1123, which now hides within the city's financial district. Wow. Hello, Philip.
Alan, welcome to St Bartholomew the Great. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. So stunning.
Well, you wouldn't have seen anything like this in any other part of London.
So is this the oldest church?
It is the oldest parish church in London, yes.
And also, what is great is that this was the first church to hold a same-sex wedding.
Well, it wasn't actually a wedding. It was a wedding blessing.
A blessing.
Wedding blessing. It was very controversial when it happened.
Yeah.
But it did happen. And
when was that?
It was May 2008. A chaplain from Bart's Hospital and his doctor-priest partner.
That's lovely, though. I think...
We're very open to that sort of thing. I'm sure we do have a female priest who works here as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. It's been used in a lot of films as well.
I heard that, yes. Which films?
Well, just a couple.
Go on, tell me.
4 Weddings and a Funeral, Shakespeare in Love, Elizabeth the Golden Age, The Other Boleyn Girl, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Amazing Grace, The End of the Affair, Madame Bovary, Jude the Obscure, Another Country, Sherlock Holmes, 9, a short scene in the King's Speech, unfortunately, which was deleted, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Gambit, Richard II, and Snow White and the Huntsman. Wow. Do you have any time to do services?
Yeah,
we do services. It never interferes with the services. It's a busy parish church. We're very active.
Right.
But like all city churches, they're not a huge congregation, so we have to make revenue where we can.
It's amazing, because just out in the street, you'd have no idea that this...
It's a hidden gem. The nice thing about this place is that it's not that well known. You can still come in and be the only person in the church.
Wow.
Which gives it a different atmosphere.
Sadly, I've no time for contemplation today, as my journey from the divine to the debauched still has some way to go. Wow, that was amazing. I think it's really great that in the midst of all the tower blocks and the modern urban sprawl, there's these little pockets of history, resilient history, and people who are really passionate about maintaining them. The walk may have begun in the saintly surroundings of St Paul's, but I seem to have fallen from grace, and the final leg of my journey takes me into the city's sinful underbelly of Soho. From Soho Square in the northeast, my walk continues past Dean Street. This square mile has long been a notorious enclave of Bohemia, with the market stalls on Berwick Street and the strip joints of Walker's Court, all the way to Piccadilly Circus. What I really like about Soho is that there's such a range of people who ply their trades here, from prostitutes to businessmen, from market stall vendors to swanky restaurateurs. And the people who live here are from every racial and social and economic group, and yet they've still managed to maintain this sort of unified sense of community. And I think in such a big, sprawling city as London, that's a really great thing, to feel that sense of community in this small little area. I'm so happy that that's still here and still exists, because it's a nice feeling. This area was once Henry VIII's hunting ground, and the name Soho apparently is an old hunting cry. But in the 50s, 60s and 70s, it developed into a hunting ground of a different sort. My guide is a writer, journalist, an old Soho hand. Danny Baker.
How you doing?
Good,
How are
nice
you?
to see you.
Yeah, you bet. This is
You're going to show me some sights
well,
of Soho?
as much as I can remember, because I was first coming around these streets, I was 12 years old, which now seems to me absolutely the most decadent thing I can think of.
You were 12 and wandering around here on your own?
On my own, yeah. Well, I may have been 11. Not because I was a runaway. It's because I had a very good trade all around Soho in second-hand records.
So
and they let Anna, that's good, and bring them over here and get a top dollar.
Nice
and so,
one.
yeah, and of course I wore blinkers, so I couldn't see the entire length of this street.
Oh, because there's
That's the windmill, of course.
Windmill, yeah.
Missed the golden age of it when people like Harry Seacombe and I don't know, Roy Castle and every comic worth their money actually did their time there. The only time I was ever in there, got to tell you, was when Derek Jameson had his own talk show in the early days of Sky.
Derek Jameson!
Warm-up man was Shane, Alfie Moon from EastEnders. Well, they, as you know, the old joke used to run from every comic after the Second World War. They'd do 6, 7, 8, 10 shows a day between the strippers. Nobody's there to see them. And they used to always get their gig and say, how's it going? Oh, I'm at the windmill. 15 quid a week. That's not bad. It's all I can afford. It's hard to imagine how many sex shops there were and strip clubs there were in this street in the 70s. And every one of these doorways you can see along here was saying, come in.
By the mid-70s, there were at least 59 sex shops in Soho, and that wasn't the only form of adult entertainment in the area. So, now, up there, Danny, the Raymond Review Bar...
Yeah, again, it was as aloof as one of the casinos or proper sex shops, you know, because all these ratty little ones around here, but they always look like somewhere a man might take his wife.
Bit of class.
A bit of class, or certainly his lover. And you could get a show as opposed to some poor bored woman coming in earning, you know, pin money.
Yeah.
And so they do a show.
It's more like Folie Bergère sort of style, was it?
Yes, yeah, I think it was a little, yeah, I mean, they had a go. They had a go, and they had some kind of budget, some kind of standards. But of course, the most interesting thing is he owns Soho, doesn't he?
Paul Raymond.
Paul Raymond owns Soho. I mean, in a physical, literal sense, because when he first came here, and it was just Soho, he just started buying up houses. And I think his family now still own more streets around here than like the Duke of Westminster.
Wow.
So every tanner he got from, you know, from boobs, he went straight into bricks and mortar, and he died one of the wealthiest landowners around.
By the time of his death in 2008, Raymond was worth £650 million. That's a lot of knicker for a lot of knickers. Here we are on Old Compton Street.
Yeah, this probably the beating heart of Soho, I'd say so. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It's, again, cleaned up now. It's very metrosexual. And
the gays moved in, and look what happened.
But there it is. Isn't it something? The gays move in, and it's a lovely place to bring your kids.
Thank you. So Baratalia, another
iconic
classic
place,
yeah.
But in real rootsy walking around Soho, not somewhere you kind of go to. I think if you come to Soho to be part of the cafe society,
it's a
of
destination.
Course, but I only know Soho through a series of now long vanished but very greasy spoons. It was a place you could live very cheaply, hand to mouth, day by day. That's as I remember.
That's not the case anymore.
Not the case anymore. No. Pubs in themselves are not cheap.
And I suppose it's the thing with money. Mostly now there's loads of these private members clubs, isn't it? That's the.
I guess so.
Got to be a member of those.
Yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of those, and they're full of all the kind of people you'd avoid the rest of the week. Right. So yeah, look, God love you, Groucho, but you know, you're not quite. You're not two sausage, egg, chips, and beans, are you?
No, but he had that thing right there. That's why it's called the Groucho Club, because he said I would never like to be a member of a club that would let me in. And
well, you know what? I'm living that dream for him.
Danny, it's been so nice to talk to you.
Mate, all the best with the rest of it.
Yeah, thanks.
Hope you find your late drink, because I'm no good at that. I'll be back in Bermondsey by then.
I'm sure I'll get something.
See ya.
If you've ever had a night of drinking and carousing in London's Soho, you will have inevitably ended up here, the Coach and Horses. It's one of the West End's most famous watering holes, but if you ask the bar staff nicely, you'll find out that it's a lot more than that. Excuse me. Hello. Hello, can I go upstairs?
Yes, it's through the